this video, I want to grab your attention to a serious problem. Over the last decade or so, the conditions to enter the financial market have been reduced to an extreme, meaning that if you want to open a trade account, you only need a couple of $100 and that's it. In the old days, only the rich were able to enter the market because the requirements were much more severe. In some cases, the minimum account size was $50,000. The other villain of this story is something called leverage, which is something that also changed completely over the years. Now there are some brokers with almost 1,000 of leverage, and it's not difficult to find brokers that offer something like 400 of leverage. That's not just in the forex markets. In many countries, if you want to day trade the indexes, for example, the amount of leverage available is more or less the same as the currency markets. Combine accessibility with extreme leverage and the fact that people insist to think that trading is easy, and you got a perfect recipe for disaster. You have many brokers and so-called educators out there that keep claiming that trading is as easy as making popcorn. Nothing could be further from the truth, obviously. If it were that easy, everybody would make money. Worse than that, this community of individuals who know nothing about the market created a culture that injects the mind of amateur traders with the idea that they can become rich quickly, starting out with $100 and almost no education at all. The concept of this idea is absurd, and the fact that people encourage it is even more absurd. Let me tell you right now, if you think you are going to start trading with $100 and you are going to make a living out of this because you are desperate or unemployed, I'm sorry, but you have lost your mind. You have been believing a story that has been repeated over and over again. For most people, trading is an activity that is supposed to reward the money they save from their work in a better way than it would be rewarded if they let it on a fixed income investment, for example. Most people think, however, that they are going to become some sort of cash register machine out of nowhere, which is an insane idea. Again, if you think that's a good idea, I assume you don't understand how risk and reward work across time, and most people don't, unfortunately. If you do a quick search on the internet, you'll see people boasting with luxury cars, mansions, piles of money, and that kind of crap, as if they conquered all of that with trading. Please note that when someone tries to sell you something by making a ridiculous promise like that, they don't have a lot to teach you, because if they did, they wouldn't be required to do such a shameful act. You have to be careful with this kind of thing because the display of all things you want with money will tempt you, and for some people, that is almost uncontrollable. So if you like the material I present you here in this channel and in my courses, my advice to you is that you should not quit your day job to trade, and you should not attempt to become a trader with almost no money. Focus on having a stable job first and save part, if not most of the money you earn. With that money and with true education, you can begin trading with very low risk to reward your capital in a good way. You would be surprised by what a few years of saving and investing can do for you. Try to be realistic about your expectations. That's hard if you're young because you know almost nothing about life, even though you feel like you know everything. Don't try to sell your stuff or borrow money to put on the broker or anything like that because that's a dead end. It's similar to drug addicts who keep selling their stuff to get a hit. It's easy to see how that kind of thing for extended periods of time can destroy a family, for example. Tragic stories in the financial markets are a dime a dozen. Recently, I heard a story about a so-called trader who borrowed about $100,000 in his girlfriend's name and then proceeded to lose everything in a day in the market. Later that day, he killed himself by jumping off a building and left his girlfriend with a massive debt. So that's the kind of thing that is in the end of this rabbit hole of attempting to become rich quickly with virtually no money and with no education. My advice to you here is that you avoid being an amateur by all costs. If you are desperate for money or in a difficult situation where you absolutely need money for whatever reason, stay away from trading because you are only going to lose whatever you have left. I won't go into detail about the specific reasons why this happens, but there are many. Trading is an activity for people who already have a certain level of stability in their lives. Remember that those requirements to open a trade account in the old days existed for a reason. This increase in accessibility only serves to increase the liquidity in the global markets at the expense of many small retail traders. So once again, the rich will eat the poor. It's as simple as that. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed the channel, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comment below. Thank you for watching and take care.